Hi, hello, how are you? And welcome back to another video. It's speed build time. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this video and this build because yes, that's a giant chair and later there will be a giant table. I saw um, this piece of art by an artist whose name I can't remember now, but I'll put the piece of art right here for you to look at in the video because editing's amazing. And it was this mystical landscape of like a chair and a table. And it was really a whole room. And it was like overgrown. And then there were like little buildings on top of the thing. So where mine is giant furniture with normal sized buildings, theirs was like, I think supposed to be normal furniture with tiny buildings. But it was amazing. And I was like, this needs to exist in The Sims. But I didn't want to build a whole giant room. So I just picked the table and the chair because I thought those were the coolest bits, especially the chair. I was originally actually going to do just a chair, and then it was too small of a build. And actually, you'll end up seeing the chair only becomes like a little tiny courtyard with like a bench on it. So couldn't put a whole house on a chair without doing like a bunch of crazy stuff with stairs. And I don't know. I like the layering that I added with the table. So it was a good thing that the chair was too small. And holy landscaping. This build was fun. But this build also took a lot of time because of all the landscaping and then messing with the different things because the furniture has been resized. Sometimes I would move a room and it would move the furniture because the game thought the furniture was in the room even though it was giant furniture. And then it was from there, it was just a lot of playing around with different ways to do things. It was weird because it was a large scale, small scale thing, if that makes sense. Large scale furniture, small scale buildings. Originally, I was just going to do this one building, and I built the whole thing, and you'll see. And it was kind of like a tiny house kind of vibe. And then I realized I had forgotten the bathroom, and I couldn't be bothered to go figure out how to shove a bathroom into this little tiny house. So I was like, okay, I'll make this little like hut at the bottom of the stairs, and that'll be the bathroom. And then from there, I was just like, these huts look magical. And this is like this whole fairy tale landscape anyway. So, of course, I needed more huts. Really, one more hut, but you know. And I just went from there. The one thing that does bother me about this little main house area is that I built this tower and originally it was going to be a 2-level thing, but I couldn't get the stairs to work in such a way that it didn't ruin either the outside structure or the inside of the house, or the stairs just wouldn't work in general. Like the game wouldn't let me place them. So the second story of the tower is actually useless. It's just filler. It's nonsense. And I'm kind of upset about that. And if I had a bit more time, I probably would have figured that out. But I didn't have more time. So I left it. Because honestly, the only thing that that would have added is a cool little round room, which I would have loved. But I really like the inside of the house as it is, so I'm not that worried about it. Something else is I did really like how interesting the shape was, and you can see me playing with the stairs here, so whoops. But anyway, something that I really liked was the shape of the building as it was originally, where I had just put the rectangular room and the square tower base just together. But it ended up being too hard to fit everything in with that little triangle cropping into the house. And so I had to get rid of it. And then I added a singular wall panel to just add a little bit more separation in there. Because since it's like a tiny house, it's all one room. And there's like the bed on one end. And you'll see, it's super cute. It just makes my life awesome. If you watch my Witch in the City challenge, then you understand why I just desperately want to put Vivian in this house. And I was thinking about it. I was like, what if I just put Vivian in this house? And I was like, no. Can't do that because the whole witch in the city thing is she's like a modern witch and she was living in the city. And so this fairy tale thing wouldn't really work for what I'm trying to go for with her. But maybe we'll have fun with it later. I don't know. We'll see. This build will have a purpose. I might not end up being in a video, but it'll have purpose for me. I'm going to go insane playing with this build because I put too much effort into it not to, first of all. Second of all, it's just, I don't even know what to say other than that it's magical, and that was the whole point. The one thing that I did want that I didn't really get was well, now I don't even remember. Oh, well, it happened, but it didn't happen the way I wanted it to. Is you might have noticed when I painted the outside of the house, I put some sections that had the oh shoot, the Windenberg kind of siding. It's like I don't know, stucco and then wood boards framing the each wall section, and then some are just brick. And it probably looked weird when I just did it, but what I did wanted to do was, you know how when there's a house and it's a brick house, but then they've done like either paint or stucco or something over the brick, and then over time, if the house ages and they don't keep up with it, you get those like beautiful places where the paint's cracked away in these large sections and the brick is exposed, and that's what I was going for there. But all of the ivy wall hangings that we have in The Sims are rectangular. So it didn't look quite like I had imagined it. Plus it was hard to do it on the curve of the round room. So it's not exactly what I wanted, but it still came out close enough that I'm okay with it. And then I had a lot of fun playing with textures in this build because I got to use that wallpaper, which I don't think I ever would have used otherwise. And I know I definitely have never used it anywhere else, which I always feel bad about because there are all these wallpapers in The Sims, and then I just can't bring myself to use them for one reason or another. And it's because my personal taste is getting in my own way, which is annoying, but we'll overcome it one day. Also, my favorite setting in the main house part of this build is that little area with the armchair and the little table with the plants and stuff. And I end up going and adding the hanging succulents from movie night stuff or movie hangout stuff. I was going to call it movie night stuff, but that's wrong. And it just brings the whole little corner together. I imagine it's like this little reading space. And then you also have over there your eating space. It's for one person, but that'll be okay. This build actually, in the end, ends up with 2 bedrooms, even though this kitchen area is only has seating for one. But that's okay because you'll see later the under the table space I leave pretty much completely untouched. And the reason I did that is because this build was so specifically designed and everything had to fit just so that I still wanted it to be adaptable. So I left the space under the table as an area that you could use for, I don't know, if you wanted to throw parties for your Sims, or like if you were doing an event or something and you needed to add extra stuff to the lot, you could put that there. If you wanted a pool, if you needed, I don't know, jungle gyms for toddler and kid Sims, or if you want to add another room, you could fit one or two, or depending on the size, maybe even 3 more of the little huts like I did under there. I don't know. It's a big space because it's a giant table. Eh, Or you could even, something I didn't put in here that I thought about, but I was like, that's, I don't know. Once you're playing with the lot, then you'll know if you want them or not, is the planter boxes and the little single plant planters. I didn't throw any of those in there, but I thought about setting aside a place that was a garden. But unless I'm doing a smaller backyard or a more family, I guess, oriented backyard, then I don't like to put the planter boxes out because then they're empty. And I don't, it's too much work to go and plant the plants and have a sim come grow them. So having a bunch of them here, I felt like it would be too much brown and it would take away from how much green I had created in this. I did a lot of cluttering in this house. I don't know if you saw just now in the kitchen, but I was like throwing up statues and putting candles on shelves and things. And I don't know. I just felt like it needed that over clutter, just magical, the theme here sense. And I just got to throw plants around. I was trying to make it look as organic as possible, like wildflower seeds had just been thrown out or something. The nature just taken over. And so things were just getting to grow however they wanted. And so I mixed all the flowers together. everything. I think this build might be, I could be wrong, obviously, but this might be the build that I've used the most stuff from different packs in, if that makes sense. Because normally I'll use, like, I don't know, things from a handful of packs because I have a theme in mind, and obviously the packs are themed. And so some of them pair really nicely together, and sometimes it'll be majorly one or two packs and then like a sprinkling of miscellaneous clutter things from other packs. But this, I use stuff from, I think, vampires. I use stuff from Get Together. I use stuff from base game, obviously. I use stuff from romantic garden stuff, movie hangout, um, outdoor retreat, just a little bit of everything. Oh, cats and dogs. I think the chair is actually from Cats and Dogs, the giant chair. But it was just, I don't know, it was great. Also, you'll notice that I just moved it to a smaller lot, and that's because when I was originally building it, I was going, or well, I wasn't going to do anything, but I wasn't sure how much space all of this was going to take because I really just had the chair part in mind. And so I wanted to give myself enough space to do whatever. And so once I had a better idea of what I was doing with the table and the chair, and then realized I wanted more of those little like hut type bungalow things, I figured out that I only needed I think this is a 20 by 30 lot. And so I saved the build and I moved it to that lot so that it would, I could fill the space better and you could see what I was doing better. Because obviously you could put it on a bigger lot and you can throw as many little huts on it as you want or whatever and all the plants and everything. But as it is, I didn't want to leave a ton of empty space. Just for all the reasons, screenshots and just general when I play with it, that kind of thing. I loved making this little bedroom. It's got a formal air to it because it kind of looks like a study. I don't know, with a bed in it. But I don't know, it's just great. I actually wish that I had put more plants in this bedroom because, you need more plants. But at the same time, I think it's good. I think it's good. It's different feeling from the main house, but I don't think it's so different that anything is lost or that it diverges from the theme. I also got to use a lot of trees in this build, which was great because I feel like sometimes I stick to too many of the same tree. I definitely hang on to those birch trees from Cats and Dogs a lot, and a handful of the base game trees. It's mostly Cats and Dogs trees, I've realized, since Cats and Dogs came out, but it'll be okay. It'll be okay. And here, this is one of my favorite parts of the build, is behind the table. I was originally just going to fill it with trees and just make this little mini forest space. But I was like, no, I can throw in the wishing well from Romantic Garden stuff because what's more magical than that? Well, nothing. Duh. And so I put that there and then I left this open space. And this is when I really started getting into landscaping. I played with the idea of putting a seating area under the table. Then I was like, no. And I had the whole idea about making it adaptable and, whatnot. And then I also realized that later, after I built the bathroom, that I put a hamper in there. I was like, well, that means that people's clothes are going to get dirty if you have laundry day stuff, obviously. And so I'm not building a laundry room for this. That wouldn't make any sense. And so I end up throwing a little clothesline behind the tree that's behind that second bedroom house. And then I ended in all these paths. And honestly, the best part of this is after I put in all the plants and stuff, I just put gnomes everywhere. Like every kind of gnome that is in the game for the gardening things, I put pretty much in here. I didn't put the ghost one because it didn't really match. But there's just gnomes everywhere. And then some of them I tried to match with where they are. By the bathroom, the little gnome that's supposed to be naked, so he's pixelated. Like when your Sims are in the shower, he's hidden in the bushes by the bathroom hut. And I don't know. And I had to bring some plants into the bathroom, obviously. So I put that wall hanging above the toilet and I had it so that it was like ivy was growing out from under the bathtub. And I don't know. The plants were taking over. Oh my gosh. I'm sure there's a plant sim challenge out there somewhere. I can't think of one right now. But wouldn't this be the perfect place for your plant sims to live? Like, yes. And I also made sure because this lot had a lot going on. Oh my goodness. had a lot going on. Yeah, I should leave. I'm sorry. The voiceover's almost over. Don't get mad at me for my puns now. But there's a lot of different places, and this is the kind of lot that your sim really has to interact with. So I made sure to light it up pretty well, you know, for when you're playing in the dark because you can't get your sims on a decent sleeping schedule. But anyway, the screenshots are playing, so I'm going to let you go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!